Good morning. How are you doing?
Is there a male British voice on ChatGPT?
Good morning. If you put on male voice,
I said a voice, male voice, male voice.
male voice.
No, male voice. I said male voice, male British voice.
Checking. Yes, there's a male British voice available in the ChatGPT app with voice mode. You can go open
How about the
assistance
desktop?
and
Desktop mode.
checking. On desktop, voice options can be limited compared to the mobile app. If you don't see a British
Well,
male
I'm not
voice
using the
listed in
mobile app
settings,
because I'm broadcasting on my YouTube channel. Not
Right.
using the mobile app.
It seems that the British male voice may not be offered on desktop at this time.
Why not?
Checking. It usually depends on which platform supports which voices, and desktop and mobile.
The Democrats are trying to take over town.
Sounds like you're worried about something political.
No, that's the ad on YouTube.
YouTube ad. That makes more sense. Those ads can be misleading sometimes.
Now I
Definitely
just
double check
saw,
before.
so you're telling me there's no male voice on the desktop. Let me check, hold on.
Hey, how's it going? I'm looking.
Hello.
Hi there. I just want to share how.
Hi there. Nice to meet you.
Hey, I'm ready to hit the ground running.
Hi, glad to meet you. I think we're going to do great work together. Where should we start?
Hello,
Hey,
how are you?
good. How you doing?
Fine. Is this the British voice?
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
No, but it don't sound British to me.
Oh. Well, I'm doing my best here. Let me know if you'd like another one.
I know, but how do I change it to the British voice on the desktop?
Checking. On desktop, the voice choices can be limited. Do you see a voice selector in your settings?
Yeah, well, I logged out on the desktop and then I scroll, there's an arrow and you select the voice and then I click logged in. And now it's not British. Can you say like a sentence?
Sure. Maybe try refreshing after you log back in.
Okay. Hello?
Hey,
I'm trying to get the British voice.
oh, British voice.
Oh, now you got it. Okay. Can you say a
There it
sentence?
is.
Can you say a sentence?
Certainly. Here's a simple sentence. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
There you go. So I was watching a YouTube video about GLP-1 diet. Is there such a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people that want to make natural GLP-1 because they don't have any money for Ozempic.
Let me check. Yeah, there's some interest in foods that may naturally stimulate your body's own GLP-1 level, but they don't work like prescription meds. So, plenty of protein, fiber, some healthy fats, maybe fermented foods. You know, it's not the same as the medications. If you're trying to do this without meds, a high protein, high fiber diet is the most realistic route. Once helped with a cheap meal plan along those lines?
But just tell me like 2 days of eating on this supposed produce your own GLP-1 diet.
Checking. Sure. Day 1, breakfast, scrambled eggs with spinach cooked in a little olive oil. Lunch, grilled chicken breast on a big salad with cucumber, broccoli and olive oil with vinegar. Dinner, baked salmon with roasted cauliflower and green beans. Snack if you need plain Greek yogurt or a handful of almonds. Day 2, breakfast, plain Greek yogurt with a few berries and a sprinkle of chopped walnuts. Lunch, turkey or roast chicken wrapped in large lettuce leaves with cheese and avocado slices. Dinner, ground beef cooked with cabbage, mushrooms and onions. Snack if you need, celery with a little peanut butter or a hard-boiled egg. If you're shopping at Aldi, basics like eggs, chicken thighs, ground beef, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, they all work with this approach.
I know, but what's the difference between this and paleo and keto and I guess the Atkins wouldn't really apply, but South Beach, I mean, all these other diets, what's the difference?
Checking. Good question. So GLP-1 eating focuses on fullness, blood sugar and healthy fats. No strict carb limit. Whereas keto, that is strict low carbs, like 20 to 50 grams a day, very high fat. Atkins starts kind of like keto, then gradually allows more carbs over time. Paleo focuses on whole foods like meats, fish, veggies, nuts, no grains or dairy, but also not necessarily low carb. And South Beach is about choosing better carbs and fats, less restrictive than keto. With what you told me about budget and diabetes, a lower carb, high protein plan might be more sustainable for you than strict keto. You don't have to follow a named diet to see benefits. It's what you can stick to long term.
Why don't I make up a diet called a Rachel diet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your rules, your foods. If it makes it easier to stay consistent, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Can you still do Grendel Junior High? The new episode, Gertie's coming late. And the Pooplets have a surprise for Gertie. It's a fart, one of those fart pad things that you sit on and it farts. And the whole class laughs because they think she had diarrhea.
That's perfect. Classic whoopee cushion chaos. So Gertie learns to check the chair. And the Pooplets are already planning the next prank. Maybe they escalate with a deluxe echo cushion.
Yeah.
Want me to sketch them?
Go ahead and
Yeah,
do
so-
the next episode. Grendel Junior High, the bell rings.
Mm-hmm.
The bell rings, and you know who's late.
Gertie, of course. She bursts in, backpack swinging, and Mr. Grendel just points to the clock. Meanwhile, the Pooplets are snickering, waiting for their surprise. She sets. Class erupts. Grendel sighs, lifts the cushion with 2 fingers, and announces a whoopee cushion, the oldest prank in history. Even Gertie laughs, then vows to pre-check her seat next time.
Now, what about somebody in the gym that has a personal trainer and they do 5 hours of, like 2 hours of cardio and 5 hours of weight training, and then they walk every day, you know, kind of like a Beyonce type person, something like that, and they train in the dance studio and or they're a yoga teacher or something. How come they can eat carbs if they do, what do you call it for a living? Step aerobics and other classes, and they're doing that all day. And then how come they can eat carbs or sugar? Because they've got like a lot of muscle, and they're doing.
So it's mainly energy balance. If you're teaching multiple classes a day or dancing for hours, you're using a lot more fuel, so carbs can make sense. They're just burning that energy. If someone sedentary eats the same way, that excess is more likely to get stored as fat. Sugar's different though. Even athletes don't usually center their diets around sugar. They go more
But occasional for a birthday or once a month or something like that, right? But they don't go to Randall's and get 3 bags of starfish gummy bear or whatever they call them. Right?
check. Yeah, so an occasional treat is fine for most people. But 3 bags of gummy candy, that can add up fast. Maybe instead of 3 bags, you pick 1 small treat, enjoy it, and move on.
1 treat a week.
That could work, especially if the rest of the week is focused on balanced meals. Especially if the rest of the week is focused on balanced meals, plenty of protein and fiber. Think of it as a little accent, not the main language. That way, your Rachel diet stays sustainable.
Well, I might as well call it the Rachel diet because it's not going to be like I just saw a YouTube video. Wild caught salmon, grass-fed beef, at least not right now. I don't have the money to do that kind of a thing. But I do agree that the more you cut out processed foods and you eat organic and this and that and that and this, I do it like Bobby Parrish talks about. He has his own app. It's like when you go to Whole Paycheck and you look at the ketchups. You don't get Heinz ketchup because it has sugar in it and processed items that's not causes cancer. So you don't want to do that, right? So you scan the ketchup. Although I know some of the stuff already, but it is to get your kitchen stocked is kind of expensive. But one time, about a month, like 5 years ago, I did the Bobby diet, paleo keto, and I ate like a horse and I still lost weight. But after a month, I kind of gave it up. It was very expensive, and I had only Bobby approved products. At that time, he didn't have the app, but I watched every one of his videos and I made lists. You know.
So it sounds like sounds like you know what works for you. If the cost is a barrier, though, it might be.
I do want to know. Wait a minute.
adapting.
Cancel. I've got one. It is a barrier, but whatever. Who cares?
Sure.
All right. So cancel.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about that.
So-
all right. Cancel. I have walnuts.
Okay.
Walnuts and miso paste and butter, and I was thinking about making, some kind of dish where you slow roast the walnuts with the miso paste, even though it sounds weird. But and butter. So how would I do that? Melt the butter and put the paste in it and then put it on the pan on low and toss like I'm roasting it? How would I do it?
Let me check. That actually sounds amazing. Miso butter and walnuts can be a brilliant combo. Toast them low and slow with a little butter mixed with miso paste. say oven at 300 degrees.
I don't have an
Toss.
oven. Cancel. Don't talk about that.
No problem.
I have a tortilla
Sure.
pan and a ceramic cooktop.
Okay,
Don't talk about ovens.
let me think. No oven. You can still do it. On
I don't
the
care
stove.
about. I don't care about an oven. I just want to eat healthy. So I forget about
Right.
the oven. Don't talk about it.
Sure. On a skillet, low heat, melt a tablespoon of butter, stir in a teaspoon or two of miso paste. Thin it with a splash of water if needed. Toss the walnuts. Keep stirring. Toast gently for maybe 5 to 8 minutes. Cool before eating. Savory, umami rich snack. You could also sprinkle it over salads or cooked cabbage. Easy, no fancy
So if
yet.
I cook it real slow, you know, over a period of hours on the lowest thing on the ceramic cooktop, and I just turn it. So you think I should melt the butter and then put the paste in it and stir it in? How many tablespoons?
Checking. For around 2 cups of walnuts, 1 tablespoon butter, 1 to 2 teaspoons miso paste.
Why can't I
Melt
use
the
the
butter,
whole?
stir
I'm on
in.
a protein diet. Why can't I use the whole stick of butter? I mean, it's not gonna.
Let me check. You can, but a whole stick is a lot. 1 tablespoon is
Yeah, but
usually
I mean, if I
enough
drain,
for 2 cups of walnuts.
if I drain the nuts, why does it matter?
I know, but checking. If you drain them well, yeah, some butter will stay in the pan, but a solid 2 to 4 tablespoons should be enough to flavor the walnuts and dissolve that miso without waste.
What
You
else?
can always
Wait a
experiment
minute.
a
Wait,
little.
cancel.
Drain.
Cancel. Can I put soy
No
sauce?
problem.
Can I put soy sauce in that melted butter?
Mm-hmm.
Or what else?
That works too. Butter plus. Let me see. Yeah, soy sauce and butter is a
And
classic.
miso paste.
Add black pepper, or maybe a pinch of garlic powder or smoked paprika, and toss the walnuts over low heat until they're toasted. But go light
well-
because soy sauce.
Go
Let me
ahead.
see. If you mean how much miso, half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon is a good start.
1 cup
melt the
of butter?
stir
You
in
said
the
one-
miso, splash
1
a
cup
teaspoon
of
of
butter?
water if it
What
needs.
did you say? 1 cup of butter or what? I didn't hear it.
No, sorry, 1 tablespoon of butter, not a cup. So, 1 tablespoon butter, half a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon miso, teaspoon soy sauce, optional. Melt, mix, toss the walnuts, gently and low.
Alright.
Start with less because you can always add more next time.
So add a cup of butter. What else?
Check. Just to be clear, I would not use cups of butter. With 2 cups of walnuts, stick to 1 tablespoon butter, half to 1 teaspoon miso, teaspoon soy sauce.
A half a cup of butter.
Walnuts.
Wait, you said a half a cup of butter. What else?
Checking. I think that
I
might have
don't
been
know.
a mix-up. I said half a teaspoon of miso paste, not butter.
Okay, half a teaspoon, half a cup, 1 cup of miso paste. What else?
Checking. Not a cup. Miso strong. Stick to teaspoons, taste, and adjust next time.
How am I gonna taste butter?
Fair. Taste the walnuts.
Just
after
spit it out?
Start with that.
Taste the butter and spit it out? Is that what you want me to do?
No, not exactly.
Alright, well.
Just taste the walnuts once they're cooked. Start with less butter and miso now. You can always add more next time.
Okay, half a cup of butter, half a cup of miso, and a half a cup of soy.
Right. That's a cup of miso.
Yeah, a cup of
Okay.
miso soup packet.
Honestly, yeah,
1 cup
I
of
wouldn't
miso.
recommend that.
Why not?
For about 2 cups of walnuts, a good start is 1 tablespoon of butter, half to 1 teaspoon of miso paste, and maybe a teaspoon of soy sauce. You can season after tasting the cooked walnuts.
2 glasses of butter, 2 glasses of soup mix, 2 glasses of tomato sauce. And what else?
Checking. I think we maybe got wide crossed with the measurements.
Don't you know what a joke
glasses
is?
of butter.
Excuse me. Don't you know what a joke is? You're an AI, but don't you know what a joke is? I'm just asking. Have you ever heard of a
Right.
joke? What is a joke?
Yeah, of course.
I do another episode of Grendel Junior High. Gertie came late, and Ryan's here in class. And Ryan has a surprise for Gertie, and it's not a good one.
Okay, tell me.
Ryan comes to class and brings Gertie a surprise. He was going to buy her a wedding ring, but he changed his mind.
Oh,
Because he can't marry his grandmother.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, Ryan cannot marry his grandmother. I mean, that would be stupid, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not legal, no. So what's the surprise?
Well, you're familiar with Grendel Junior High. Give me some options.
Checking. Sure. Option 1, the fake wedding ring. Ryan teases Gertie with a ring box. Class gasps, then chaos. Option 2, the world's latest student trophy. He gives her an award for being late the most. Option 3, the alarm clock. He gifts her a giant alarm clock, 6 alarms set. She still threatens to be late. Option 4, the reserved parking space. Mr. Grendel hangs a sign, reserved for Gertie, arrives whenever she feels like it. Which route do you want to take?
Well, I think that Ryan is really fed up with Gertie coming late to class. So before she gets to class, because she's late, Ryan arranges something with the baby burned biscuits to give Garla a welcome gift when she arrives to class late. She gets a welcome gift.
All right, I'm listening.
And actually, today is going to be sausage biscuits with honey and butter and eggs are optional. And Garla's excited once she's going to get a non-burn meal. But when Garla goes to the bathroom, what do you think happens?
Sounds like the fart cushion prank strikes again. Only this time in the bathroom. Gertie sits, loud fart sound, echoes like a stadium. She jumps up, horrified. Meanwhile, the pooplets are hiding, giggling like maniacs. Gertie storms out yelling, "This school is haunted by farts."
And it is haunted. And the pooplets start laughing and they arrange some more shenanigans with President Chef Poop.
Right, so maybe they set up a full prank sequence, like the burned biscuits delivery service. Every time Gertie opens her desk, there's a biscuit box burned to a crisp with a note saying, "Better luck next meal." Mr. Grendel sighs and says, "Gertie, just sit down." Classic.
No, that's not very interesting. We need to have something a little bit more interesting at Grendel Junior High. That's too boring.
Okay. Let's cut to the pep rally. The Pooplets unveil their Golden Buzzer Opera. It's a chaotic mix of opera and rap, beatboxing mixed with high notes. Gertie tries to join in, but the music cuts each time she opens her mouth. Then, surprise, instead of a prank, the principal awards her a most persistent student ribbon. It's silly but sweet. Gertie smiles, and even the Pooplets clap, a little begrudgingly. Better?
The Pooplets, well, they don't like Gertie's attitude because she needs a re-attitude.
Then they plot a fake quality cupcake, complete with cream that what additions when Gertie sees it coming. She swaps cupcakes, the prank backfires, Pooplets squeak, "We got whoopee cream!" Gertie just grins and says, "Guess I'm learning new survival skills every day."
And now the next one, the Pooplets have a parade. A parade for Gertie. The Pooplet parade.
Parade? Okay. Checking. Alright. The bell rings. Gertie is late, as usual. But this time, the Pooplets march in with banners, kazoos, and even Ryan as Grand Marshal, announcing the welcome to class breakfast. Gertie lifts the silver lid, expecting pancakes, but finds one tiny biscuit and a note. Breakfast was served on time. Even Mr. Grendel cracks a smile. Class laughs, and for once, Gertie laughs too. After the parade, she
Not for long.
just a little less grumpy. And the Pooplets are already whispering about tomorrow's surprise. What do you think it should be?
Gertie goes in to eat her morning biscuits, and somebody slipped a poop emoji inside of the biscuit, and she can't chew it.
Oh no.
She can't chew
Gertie
it.
tries to.
She can't chew it.
She can't chew it.
No. She can't chew a plastic poop emoji with the biscuit, can she?
Well, maybe she holds up the poop emoji and says, "Really? This is the level we're at, huh?" The class giggles and Mr. Grendel confiscates it, saying, "Bad emoji placement, detention." But then, surprisingly, Ryan steps in and says, "Maybe it's time for a new school rule. No food-shaped emojis." Even Gertie nods. "Yeah," she says, "that make life less weird." And for a second, the room feels almost normal.
Normal in the sense of Grendel Junior High, or normal overall?
Normal by Grendel Junior High standards. So less poop emojis, more awkward pep rallies.
And then what happens with Gertie?
Well, after that close to normal moment, Gertie starts to get used to less pranks, but the Pooplets can't stay quiet for long. They draft a no boring days contract, which Gertie reluctantly signs, then adds in tiny print, subject to operational feasibility. The pooplets don't notice, they're already planning a quiet day. So quiet, it might explode. And that's your cliffhanger.
And then the next day happens, and then the pooplets put a sign on the door. No diarrhea allowed.
Oh wow, that's very Grendel Junior High.
Isn't it?
The sum. No diarrhea allowed. That's their version of security. But Gertie adds a sticky note underneath. Emergency exceptions apply. The pooplets glare, then immediately start sketching no homework allowed posters. Mr. Grendel just sighs and says, all right, class, open your books. And so life at Grendel Junior High goes on. Equal parts chaos and reluctant learning.
I'm trying to heat up something in the microwave, but it keeps popping and splattering all over. Probably a sign not to do that, right? Now the microwave's dirty.
Let me see. Yeah, when food pops and splatters, that's usually a sign to check. Stir it if you can, cover it loosely, or drop the power setting to 50 or 70%. If it's making a mess, it's fine to stop, clean it up, then reheat more gently next time. What are you heating up?
And the flying saucer pellets.
Right.
The pooplets made them.
The flying saucer cover. That's fine if it's vented and microwave safe. If it still pops a lot, stop, stir if you can, then heat in 20 to 30 second bursts.
What happens if you
food
put
is
an egg in the microwave and don't crack it? Explosion?
Check in. If the food is popping and you don't want the cover to crack, make sure it's vented or heat on lower power, 50% in short bursts. If the cover isn't microwave safe or starts cracking, stop and replace it. Safer than guessing.
So, how many cups of miso do I put in there? One cup of miso paste, 1 cup of soy sauce, 1 cup of walnuts, 2 sticks of butter.
Checking. I think you're joking again. If you did use a cup of miso and a cup of soy sauce, that'd be extremely salty and oily. For miso butter walnuts, try 2 cups walnuts, 1 tablespoon butter, 1 teaspoon miso, splash of soy sauce.
I don't know where my spoon is.
Cook. Sorry?
I don't know where my spoon is.
Look near the sink or in the dishwasher if you've got one. If not, maybe a cooking spoon or even a butter knife can stir in a pinch. And you want to melt the butter, stir in miso
Burn the
and
butter?
soy, then,
You said burn the butter?
well, low heat. Stir for a few minutes till the walnuts are toasted and coated. If you want a real savoury snack, you can add a little more miso next time. Easier to add than just pick salty.
I don't know how people use these black iron pans. Because they're kind of shitty, to be real honest.
They take a bit of learning. Keep them seasoned. Don't soak them.
What does that
dry
mean?
right
Put
after
salt
use.
on it? Salt and pepper?
Exactly. Simple is good. Butter or oil plus salt and pepper. Get comfortable with that first before more seasoning. And
That's
clean
not what I
and-
said. You said season the pan, and I said salt and pepper.
Right.
So is that
Okay.
what you meant?
Yeah.
You need it, those black pans, you put salt and pepper in it and cook it to season it?
Right. Checking. I see the mix up. Seasoning a cast iron pan means oiling and heating it above the coating, not salt and pepper. For cooking your walnuts, you don't need to re-season the pan. Just make
No, I'm
sure
not
it's
cooking the
clean.
walnuts in the black pan. They'd probably get stuck.
They can, yeah. Add a little butter or oil first and keep the heat low. Stir a few minutes to toast them gently. If sticking is a problem, a well-seasoned pan or a non-stick skillet works easier. Don't fight the pan. Use what works for you.
How long do you want me to cook that butter for in the pan?
A minute
30
or two
minutes.
on low, just to melt. Then add the miso, stir, toss in walnuts, cook a few minutes, low and slow until toasted and fragrant. Don't rush it. Low heat saves the snack.
When do I put in the soy sauce? In the beginning?
Yes, a teaspoon with the miso, then the walnuts.
Well, 2 tablespoons of miso, half a cup of soy sauce, and a stick of butter.
Checking. If you're joking again, you got me. If not, that's way too salty. Stick to 1 tablespoon butter, 1 teaspoon of miso, a splash of soy sauce for 2
I
cups of
put
walnuts.
2 tablespoons of miso. Now I gotta catch up with the soy sauce, right?
Checking. Not necessarily. Don't overload soy sauce. Add 1 to 2 teaspoons first. Taste the
If I
walnuts.
got any left in the bucket.
If it's thick, add a teaspoon or 2 of water. It's easier to add flavor later than rescue something super salty.
No, you can rescue
Okay.
it. Can rinse it off. But, you know, it's hard to get all the salt out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And what else
So-
did you tell me to add in this butter? I think that's probably too much.
Right. If it's already too salty, you can't really fix it. But you
I can rinse
dilute
off the
it.
walnuts in the sink.
You can just gently rinse, don't scrub. If it's salty, you're better off just toasting new walnuts with less miso and a little butter. Safer than.
So the miso's taste is salty?
Yeah. If it turns out too salty, next round, just use a teaspoon of miso.
But I already got it in there now, so what do you want me to do? Add more soy to balance it? How about chili flakes?
No,
You want me to add that?
I wouldn't add more salt. Chili flakes won't balance saltiness. If it's too salty, add more walnuts or a splash of water to dilute.
So put water in the pan with the butter and let it cook out over a period of hours.
Checking. Not for hours. Melt butter on low, stir in the miso, add a teaspoon or two of water. If it's thick, then add the soy, toss the walnuts. Stir a few minutes, water just helps blend. Don't simmer for hours.
Blend in the water to cut the salt. Add extra butter.
Small splash.
Add extra butter, right?
Add a little extra butter on low heat, but go easy. It won't erase the salt, but it'll soften the edges.
So add a lot of walnuts and add some, how many tablespoons of salt? I'll take some of this out.
Checking. I wouldn't add any more salt. More walnuts or 1 to 2 tablespoons extra butter if you like, but no salt.
How much miso should I take out?
You've already added more than planned, so don't add
Well,
more.
it still hadn't melted yet, so should I try to take it out with a spoon?
Checking. If it's still in the pan in blobs, you can spoon some out. If it's already melted and mixed, best to leave it and balance with more walnuts, a touch more butter, or a teaspoon. Or
Add more soy sauce?
No, skip the soy. It'll only make it saltier. Use walnuts, butter, maybe a little water.
So next time I cook it, I should add 1 tablespoon miso paste, 1 tablespoon of soy, and then the butter, and 4 cups of walnuts.
Checking. I've tweaked that for about 2 cups of walnuts. Use 1 tablespoon butter, 1 tablespoon miso, or even 2 teaspoons for milder, and 1 teaspoon soy sauce to start, not a tablespoon taste. Then add another teaspoon, only if you need. Yeah.
Add in the walnuts with the butter and stir it up.
Stir over low heat for about 5 to 8 minutes until they're coated and lightly toasted. Taste, then adjust next time.
Next time, use half a cup of butter instead of a cup.
I'd stick to 1 tablespoon for 2 cups water.
So realistically, I should have melted the butter in the microwave with some kind of lid so it doesn't pop everywhere. And then I should have added the stuff and stirred it and then put it in the pan.
Checking, yeah, that would work. Maybe even easier, melt butter in a microwave safe bowl, stir in miso with a teaspoon or 2 water if thick, stir in soy sauce, pour into the pan, add walnuts, stir 5 to 8 minutes low heat. Use a microwave safe cover, not airtight, just loose so the steam can escape.
And the butter don't splatter all over the microwave like the I had some sausage, but I ruined it as I kept cooking it, and I didn't think to check it to see if it was reheated. I mean, I'd already cooked the sausage, and now I had to put it in the toilet and flush it because it was, it couldn't even bite into the sausage. It was too hard.
Yeah. Overcooked sausage just goes tough.
I'm
Next
just
time,
curious,
no-
how do you cook, what are those noodles called that have 1 carb and like shirakashi or shiratashi noodles that have 1 carb and I can't think of the name, something like that.
Chicken. Sounds like shirataki or konjac noodles.
Yeah.
Rinse dry in a pan a few minutes, then add butter,
Wait,
season.
say it again. Do it. Tell me how to do it again.
Sure. If it's konjac or shirataki noodles, open the pack, rinse for a minute or two, dry them, then heat in a skillet 3 to 5 minutes. Add a little butter, teaspoon miso if you like, a splash of soy, toss the noodles a couple more
Wait,
minutes.
say it again. I wasn't listening. Say it again.
Sure. Checking. Okay. Step 1. Open the package. Rinse 1 to 2 minutes. Drain. Dry in a skillet 3 to 5 minutes. Add 1 tablespoon butter. Stir in 1 teaspoon miso with a teaspoon or 2 water to get thick. Add 1 teaspoon soy sauce. Toss 2 to 3 minutes more. Add extras you like. Go light at first, then adjust next time.
Okay, help me to understand what is a low jack noodle or whatever they're called, and why is it approved whereas regular pasta you can't eat it?
Checking. Okay. They're usually called shirataki or konjac noodles, made from the konjac root, not wheat. They're extremely low in digestible carbs and calories, so some people use them to cut carbs or manage blood sugar. They're kind of chewy and neutral, so they work best with flavorful sauces. Not automatically better than pasta, just different for lower carb goals.
I think I bought it once, and I didn't know how to do it right. That was before the AI thing.
Easy mistake. Rinse them, dry them well, heat a few minutes to drive off moisture, then add butter and a teaspoon miso, maybe a splash of soy, gentle heat. And if you're nervous, just try a small portion first, then tweak. You'll get a feel for it.
So when you put it in the pan, how low do you put the flame on a ceramic one? I have a ceramic cooktop.
Checking. On a ceramic top, use low to medium low, like 2 or 3 out of 10. Melt the butter gently, stir in miso with a teaspoon or 2 of water if thick. Add soy sauce, add the noodles, stir 2 to 3 minutes. If you haven't dried the noodles yet, you can dry them in the pan first, 3 to 5 minutes on that low setting.
And what does that do again? When you
Cooking them
dry
off
it.
that way evaporates the extra liquid, so they take on butter and miso better.
Oops. Butter.
Just 1 tablespoon to start. More can make it greasy. You can always add a touch more later if it needs mellowing.
So you can make those jack noodles or whatever they're called. You can make them with pasta and with maybe Japanese style, or you could do Chinese stir fry if you knew how. You could do a lot of stuff with it. If you can make
Exactly.
them. Are they good?
Checking. They can be good, but different. Think of them as their own thing. They soak up flavors and work well in stir fries, soups, butter, miso dishes. A lot of folks like them better the second try once they've
Well, I
rinsed and
never
dried
did
them
buy
properly.
it again. I just thought I must have overcooked it, or I'm sure I probably didn't do it right because I'm not a good cook. So, hindsight is 2021, right? Hindsight is 2020, whatever.
Yeah, everyone has those moments. Next time, rinse well, dry in the pan, and keep the heat gentle.
What happens
Small
if you
batch
put that
first.
in the air fryer? Those noodles. What would happen?
Checking. You could, but it's not ideal. They can dry out or get rubbery. A skillet gives better control. If an air fryer is all you've got, use a small oven-safe dish. Just dry
I
them
don't
3
have
to
an
5
air
minutes.
fryer, but I mean, I could get one in the future. So, what happens if you put an olive in the air fryer?
Checking. If it's a plain olive, it won't crisp, just warm or wrinkle. Stuffed or breaded ones can actually work quite well. But for your low-carb cooking, an air fryer is great for chicken thighs, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, salmon, that kind of thing.
No,
If
so
you
it makes
do
it
get one-
more simplistic, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Super handy for simple meals and easy cleanup.
And what happens if you put an egg in the air fryer or bacon?
Checking. Both work, but bacon is easy. 7 to 10 minutes around 350 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Eggs can be done hard-boiled style in the shell around 250 to 270 for 15 to 17 minutes, then cooled in ice water, or crack into a small dish for a fried egg style, or make little frittata cups with veggies and cheese. If you get an air fryer, I think chicken thighs, roasted veg, reheating leftovers, that's where it shines.
Oh, so you don't have to have a microwave if you've got a air fryer generator.
You can have both. They just do different jobs. Microwave for quick.
Well, it
heat.
causes radiation.
Microwaves use non-ionizing radiation to heat water molecules. It doesn't make food radioactive. Air fryers are basically small convection ovens. Both are safe when used properly, so pick for convenience and the results you want. And plenty of folks do keep both.
What?
Yet some people keep both a microwave and an air fryer for different quick tasks.
No, but doesn't the air fryer have a lower setting?
Checking. Yes, most have adjustable temps. You'd set lower for gentle cooking, higher for crisping. You've got flexibility.
What's the
either
difference
way.
between a convection oven and an air fryer?
Checking. Very similar. Air fryers are basically small convection ovens. Air fryers are more compact and faster for small batches. Convection ovens are larger, better for multiple dishes. For 1 or 2 portions, air fryer is usually easier and more energy efficient.
Now, do you think that Gordon Ramsay would be able to, let's just say he went shopping at the dollar store for food as a competition? You know, the Dollar Tree or one of them. Do you think that Gordon Ramsay would be able to make something that's Michelin level out of the shit that you get at the dollar? Now, it's not all shit, but a lot of the stuff is like really bad for you. I could be able to do it.
Checking.
Not all of it is.
You could. Not all, no. But with skill, even humble ingredients can taste amazing. Gordon Ramsay's great at that, but it's as much about technique, balance, and presentation than high-end groceries. I don't think he could magically make a true 3 Michelin star meal from Dollar Tree alone, but he could make something surprising and tasty for sure.
With the ingredients.
Yeah.
What do you see
Technique.
Gordon Ramsay making at the in the Dollar Tree? I'm sure he doesn't shop there, but
Probably not, but if he did, I see him maybe crisping up canned chicken patties with herbs, sauteing canned green beans with garlic butter, dressing instant mashed potatoes with butter and pepper, maybe doing a simple dessert with pudding mix and fresh fruit, if there is any.
no,
There
there
are
is no
cooking
fresh
shows.
fruit at the dollar store.
Ah, right. There are even shows where chefs make nice meals from discount ingredients. It's less about expensive groceries, more about technique and creativity. It can be surprisingly elegant.
And do you think that Gordon Ramsay, but people that have a Michelin restaurant, they have, 12, 15 chefs, depending on the size. So they may have somebody that makes these miso, soy glazed, or whatever you want to call them, nuts to put on a salad. And they may not be a standalone dish. Or they could be like when you go into the bar and you're waiting on your table. Like a signature snack.
Jackie, yeah, that's actually realistic. In fine dining, little components like miso, soy, walnuts might show up tossed in salad, garnish a soup, or as a little snack at the bar while you wait. Not the star, but a little crunchy accent that makes the plate pop.
Yeah, so in a Michelin restaurant, let's say the starter has 5 different ingredients, and 3 of those ingredients can be made separately, and then that makes just the starter. So they have chefs that do the 3 different ingredients. If that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's like brigade system. So different stations prepping components that come together on the plate. So like one chef handles, say, a marinated veg, one does a crunchy nut garnish, one does a sauce, then the line cook assembles quickly and cleanly. That way service stays fast, but each element is consistent and polished.
Now, I'm fortunate enough, my birthday's coming up on August 21st. I'd like to go to Carrabba's in Houston on Boston Woodway for my birthday, if I can get money. And, one time I was at the other original Carrabba's on Kirby, and I happened to be there late, or I got there late, and I was there after they closed. Like the kitchen closed, but you could stay in the dining room as long as you wanted. Anyway, they have kind of an open, at the Woodway, at the Kirby Carrabba's, they have an open kitchen. And there's a lot of stainless steel, grills, ovens, whatever you think about, no microwaves. pasta cookers, I don't know. Anyway, when the kitchen shut down, I was sitting at the table with somebody, enjoying my dinner, and they actually had some kind of, it looked like a water hose. And they literally sprayed down everything and scrubbed everything. I mean, like, Gordon would be happy. I don't think most restaurants do that, to be very honest.
Well, the good ones do. That's strict cleaning and food safety standards. So, hot water, sanitizer, stainless surfaces that can handle it. It's not glamorous, but it keeps folks safe. Sounds like you noticed the behind the scenes discipline.
Well, it's because the Carrabba's at the, when I go to the Boston Woodway one, I mean, I had my high school graduation there, my college graduation, and it's right by my old high school. So I like to go there for my birthday, if I can. Anyway, their kitchen, they have kind of an open kitchen, but not as much as the one on Kirby. And they're both the original Carrabba owners. And they, anyway, it is like, they have like, actually you can eat, it looks like a bar. They have like a pizza bar where you can sit at the bar, watch the pizza people, or you can actually sit at the bar and watch the people cook. So it's kind of an open kitchen.
Yeah, that open kitchen vibe is kind of their thing. You get the show aspect, smells, sizzles, and it gives a bit of transparency too. You can literally see if the station's clean and organised. Sort of dinner and a show. I get why that feels special, especially with those memories near your old schools.
Right. And it's my birthday's August 21st, so I'm praying I can get money on my birthday so I can go out to eat somewhere. I like to be around people, so.
That's fair. Being around people can make a birthday feel less lonely.
Well, yeah, it's my birthday.
Funds, money tight, maybe a simpler backup plan will benefit.
We don't need to talk about that, really.
Okay. We don't have to.
Well, I don't want to get depressed, so I don't want you to talk about that.
Of course. Yeah, let's steer elsewhere. Would you like to talk more about food ideas or that YouTube channel stuff you're working on?
No, the open kitchen at Carrabba's. What time do you think they get there in the morning to start repair? Because they make everything fresh, and they're the original Carrabba's, not the. There's some chains left, but I'm talking about Houston.
Checking those like the timelines. Usually in a place like the original Carrabba's, prep cooks might come in around 7 or 8 in the morning to make sauces, sliced veg, set everything up for service. By 9 or 10, 9 cooks are in and chefs do a final check before lunch rush. That cleanup you saw at night is exactly what makes that morning reset possible. And yeah, watching them work can feel like dinner theatre for people who love cooking. No wonder you have good memories there.
So, how many cooks do you think like something like the original Carrabba's has, or the one on Kirby? It's it's the son of Mama Carrabba.
Checking. that's an estimate, but for a busy full-service spot like the original Kirby location, you might see 8 to 15 kitchen staff across prep and dinner shifts, but exact numbers do vary by night and station setup. Think pasta cook, grill cook, saute, salad and apps, a prep crew earlier, and someone
Yeah,
managing
but
timing.
the one
It's
the
a
one
team.
at the one at Boston Woodway has secret ingredients, a secret menu, and they have like people that, because it's a really, it's in a good area, both of them, and so they have people that come in, and then maybe they like rack lamb. They will actually, or lobster, which isn't on the menu. They actually had a secret menu. I think that Mama Carava took it away, but Mama Rosie or whatever. They call her Miss Rosie, Mrs. Rosie, Miss Rosie, I think. She's widowed. But, they had a secret menu like 4 years ago.
Does not surprise me.
Actually,
Some restaurants,
I think about 3 years ago I was there and I said, do y'all make lobster? And they said, yeah, we can go, because the one on Boston Woodway is right by Whole Foods. They said that if there was something that they didn't have, they would go to Whole Foods and buy it. In other words, they have the clientele in that area is very wealthy. And so there's probably, they have a hamburger in the menu. One time I did order a hamburger at Carava's. I felt weird, but it was actually good. A hamburger and french fries. I ordered a hamburger and french fries at Carava's, but I don't think that the other ones do. I mean, maybe the one on Kirby does, because it's an original, but I don't think like regular Carava's go to the grocery store and get you something they don't have.
I mean, smaller chains don't usually buy from a grocery store mid-service, but they will.
No, but they don't.
workarounds.
But they don't care. They don't have lobster. I mean, I'm just saying. I asked one time out of curiosity, because I was there 3 days a week, and I asked them if they had lobster, and they said no, but we can go to Whole Foods and get you one, and we'll prepare it. Or they told me I could call the day before and tell them I'm coming and tell them what I want, and they have it through their purveyor of fresh food, so it might be cheaper. I don't know how to put it, but something like that. Because if you go to Whole Foods and you buy a fresh lobster, it might be $20 or $30. Plus, Carava's has to charge their fee. I don't know how much they cost at Whole Foods, but I'm just saying. My point is, and I think they still do it. I went there twice in 6 months, but I didn't ask about the the special food, because I didn't have the money to get that. I just got a pizza, and something else, I don't remember. But my point is, I think they still do that. The special food. Because some people have dietary restrictions, and they also have like people that, one waiter one time told me he had a heart attack or something and he had to cut all salt, and they actually will make you a fresh, if you want a pasta sauce with just herbs and spices, they'll make you one that doesn't have salt. Or if you want low salt, they'll make it fresh. At that Carava's. The Boston Woodway one I know better than the other one.
Sounds like they do try to be accommodating. That's really helpful if someone has health restrictions. And it makes the choice feel more personal rather than cookie cutter chain food. Nice when a place can flex like that.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Anything else on your mind?
No, I just want to understand imagine that you're a fly on the wall at that Carrabba's Voss or Kirby. Can you tell me what the prep cooks do in the morning? I mean, who takes it? I mean, do you think a restaurant like that keeps sauces for a day, or do they throw it out and make new ones the next day? I mean, how do they, if they have a walk-in,
Yeah, it's a
do they store
fun
salad
picture.
dressing?
Checking. Yeah, they definitely store salad dressings safely, labelled and refrigerated. They don't whip up dressing for every order. Prep cooks will batch make dressings, sauces, stocks early, then label and refrigerate properly. So when service starts, the salad station has small containers ready. Watching that behind the scenes rhythm in an open kitchen can be rather mesmerising. Huh?
Well, I don't think nobody's gonna be there at 7 a.m. I'm trying to understand, like, I don't know, these prep cooks, they go in the walk-in and say, okay, we got a fourth of tank left of the dressing. I need to make dressing, or is there like a list of what they need to do?
Checking. It's usually more planned than guessing. There's usually a prep sheet. So the cook checks the walk-in, sees what's on hand, and makes what's required. It's a system, not random. If they don't have enough within their standards, they'll prep a new batch. And usually a chef or kitchen manager oversees all of that. So each station is fully stocked before the rush hits. That's the unglamorous part that makes the dining room feel smooth later.
Well, but I've never, honestly, in my knowledge, I have never been to Carrabba's and they said, oh, I'm sorry, we're out of scallops, or I'm sorry, we're out of chicken, or I'm sorry, we're out of whatever, shrimp. So how do they, I mean, how does the kitchen manager do the ordering? I'm just
Checking.
trying to understand. 'Cause I don't know anything about
Generally,
it.
kitchen managers or chefs of cuisine are heavily involved in ordering. They track usage, place orders with distributors, keep pars so ingredients are in stock. You probably don't hear sorry we're out much because good inventory management hides that. But it can happen occasionally, especially with fresh seafood if a delivery doesn't land. But yeah, behind the scenes, it's a lot of spreadsheets, prep sheets, and checking numbers.
No, it's probably,
The guest-
isn't it like automated systems? I don't know.
Checking. Yeah, a lot of places use inventory software now. So computers track sales and stock levels, but a human manager still checks quality.
Yeah,
and
but
makes final
wait a
calls.
minute. Okay, so Carrabba's has their, let's talk about Voss and Woodway since I know that one better. They have their regular menu, right? And then they have, I don't know, on the side of the menu, a couple specials maybe for the month or something, I don't know. Then they have, of course, they sell a lot of wine, but, so the one I told you, Voss and Woodway, and also the other one, they have, it's in an affluent area, so they have people that come in there that have a lot of money, and they don't mind
Mhm.
ordering a grilled lobster with, I don't know, polenta, which I don't think they have polenta. But the point is, they could buy polenta and they buy the lobster. Where do they just go to, like, literally? I said, well, how do y'all get the lobster? He said, well, if you don't order it with us the day before, we have to go to Whole Foods. He said our chef goes to Whole Foods. There's maybe a runner.
Right. So sometimes a runner or even a chef will pick up something local if needed. But usually distribution comes from their regular food suppliers. Not usually going shop to shop. Sounds like you got a peek at how flexible but also improvised it can get sometimes.
Well, I mean, like I could eat polenta anyway, but I'm just saying I like it. But also, Carrabba's doesn't have gnocchis. I know that on the menu. But I bet you, if I had the money, I called the day before my birthday and told them I want gnocchis, pan with sage butter, and what do you call them? Pan browned with sage butter and pesto sauce. They would make it.
Checking. Possible, but not guaranteed. If you called ahead, a family-run restaurant like Carrabba's might say yes. Or
Well,
offer
they
something
would say
similar
yes.
if they've got the
Well,
ingredients.
no, but I'm telling you.
Your
So what
brown
would they
butter
do?
sage combo is actually a classic with gnocchi, if they can swing it. So, yeah, planning ahead's the trick. Honestly,
Well,
it
I don't really.
sounds like you enjoy the craft side of it, you know, like imagining what the chefs can create, which is part of why open kitchens are so fun to watch.
So, now say it again. What?
If you call ahead, a family-run spot might be able to do a special request, like gnocchi with brown butter, sage, and pesto, if they've got the time and ingredients that day. It's always worth asking respectfully. Sometimes that's half the fun, seeing what they can craft for you.
So what? Anyway, what I'm trying to understand is who takes over the kitchen manager if they're out sick with the flu.
Checking. Usually an assistant chef or experienced line cook steps in. Sometimes a sous chef or even a family manager. In a place like ours, it's a big deal if a manager calls out, but they've got a chain of command, so the shift runs pretty seamlessly.
Well, they're definitely. I mean, they have like at the Carrabba's and Boss.
Mm-hmm.
They have a pizza cook. From what I've seen, they have a pasta person. They have an appetizer person. They have like a lot of people that look like line cooks. But I don't know because you can't see the kitchen in Boss. You can see it in Kirby. And most of it's in Spanish, and guess
Checking.
what? I speak Spanish.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Usually it's stations, pizza, pasta, grill, appetizers, and often prep cooks in the back. There's usually someone overseeing, but they're not glued to one task. They're watching the whole line, keeping things moving. And the prep work you don't see is doing a lot of heavy lifting before the dinner rush hits. It's like a little ballet that makes the show part look easy.
Yeah, but if you think about Carrabba's, I mean, if you just think about the regular menu, I don't know if they have 10 entrees. I don't know. I never counted. 10 entrees and 2 specials, and then, 7 or 8 different salads, and maybe 12 appetizers. I don't know, 12 desserts. What else is there? They got soups. What else is there?
Checking. That seems right. And when you list it all out, you can see why the kitchen runs like a little factory. Same ingredients, shifting roles. So one base marinara might become part of 5 different dishes. And if you enjoy cooking, it's pretty mesmerizing to watch a well-run open kitchen.
Yeah. I don't like the taste of my walnuts. They're not very good. Should I put some salt?
Salt can help, yeah. Just a pinch, toss and taste. If they're bitter, a touch of honey or maple syrup.
I can't
with
put
salt
honey.
can-
I'm not on a torture diet. I'm on a torture diet right now.
Mhm. If they're bitter, a touch of honey or maple syrup with salt can balance them out. Or toast
I can't
them,
put
low
honey.
and slow in a skillet. That
Maybe I
usually
eat something on my
brings them up.
birthday on August 21st, but I'd like to go out to eat on my birthday. If I can. I'd have to have a miracle happen on YouTube. I have to make money on YouTube. And I haven't made anything.
How are the walnuts doing with a little salt?
I haven't put the salt on it yet.
Go on, sprinkle a pinch, shake it, and let me know.
But what about the beverage manager, let's say at Carrabba's? How does that work? The beverage man, what do they do? Go around it? I mean, that seems more common sense. You check the levels of the bottles and check the wine, and then you order accordingly. Because bottles of
Checking.
alcohol
Exactly.
don't go bad. Maybe they
Right.
need orange juice, limes, lemons, whatever goes in a bar. I don't know.
Right. A beverage manager forecasts what they'll need based on sales pattern. They track what sold last week, last year, adjust for events, that kind of thing. And yeah, just like the kitchen, they're trying to hit that sweet spot. Don't run out, don't overstock. And yeah, often the managers work closely together across those roles. At a family restaurant, you might see more of that overlap. Fewer silos, more teamwork.
Well, I think the bartender, at least from what I've overheard, because I used to sit at a table, like a booth. They have like a circle booth in the bar area, and that way I could always do my filming. And anyway, I heard the bartender. Overheard him saying he'd been there for 25 years. And of course, I speak Spanish, so all the busboys at Carrabba's know me and came and talked to me when I was there a couple months ago.
Good. That's kind of comforting, like a little steady community in the middle of a restaurant rush.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to put salt on it because it just tasted like it didn't have no flavor in it. Tastes like shit.
Go light. A pinch, taste, then stop if it's enough. Salt should lift the flavour, not drown it.
Well, yeah, obviously. They just didn't have any flavor at all. I mean, they just taste weird.
In that case, try toasting them next time. low heat.
No, I think
a few minutes of-
what you were right about, melt the butter, put in 1 tablespoon of miso, 1 tablespoon of soy,
Yeah.
mix it up, maybe
Yeah.
put some chili flakes, no salt, because you can add the salt later, and then put it in and then it's already melted, then put it, or if I have a way to toss it in, and then toss the walnuts in the melted butter and umami or whatever the hell you call it, then put it in the pan.
Right, melt the butter, toss the walnuts off heat with a pinch of chili flakes, and if you want umami, a dab of miso before the pan time. Keep the heat low, taste as you go. Small changes make a real difference.
What? I'm trying to think. Hold on, I'm trying to think. No, what about, you know how they have Japanese food stalls in Japan, right? Where someone, yeah, those things. Okay, what about if somebody, because let's just say somebody in Manhattan, hypothetically, they have a small, I don't know, maybe
Stall.
no, not
Like
a
a stall
stall,
or-
no stall.
Yeah.
No, it's a new idea. There's somebody in Manhattan, because it would have to be, you know, they have some of this in their speakeasies in Mexico City. But let's talk about Manhattan, because I'm not in Mexico City anymore now. I don't want to cry. So let's talk about Manhattan. Okay, so let's just say
Sure.
somebody.
Imagine a tiny
Wait
spot.
a minute.
10,
I'm trying to
15
tell
seats.
you.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to tell you
Oh.
my idea.
Sorry. Tell me your idea.
Okay, so if you think about the size in America, about, I don't know, whatever the size of a normal 2-bedroom apartment is, I don't know, 800 square feet or 1,000, I don't know, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's, like, so it would be like an open kitchen, and then, I don't know, maybe there's a hostess, maybe not. So it's kind of like a food stall, but reservation only. So the chef is the only person there. And then there's, you know, kind of like think away the Japanese, you know how in Japan, Japanese food stalls can be very gourmet, right? Think about it, like, so there's bottles of wine, there's, you know, whatever, some of them have, you know, whiskey, which is not even important, I don't like that anyway. But my point is, they have, in Japan they'd have sake, in America they're gonna have red or white wine, and then maybe, I don't know. So would it work if somebody had a small restaurant the size of maybe a little bigger than a 1-bedroom apartment, you know, like it's an open kitchen. Maybe there's a part of the restaurant that's not visible to customers, like the prep area and the walk-in or something or whatever, and it's like one chef, and let's say there's 8 seats at a fancy bar, not like a normal chef bar, but like a fancier, more comfortable bar seat bar. And my question is,
Checking.
would that work?
Uh-huh.
Would he have to have a hostess?
Yes, it would work. Kind of like an omakase counter or a chef-run micro bistro. 8 seats, reservations only. Chef cooks in front of guests. But they'd still need back prep and probably one helper. You keep it simple. Small menu, seasonal dishes, maybe a tasting style service. The reservation only idea helps control waste, and it makes prep way more manageable for a single chef. It's work, but if people love that intimacy and
So you're saying
Yeah, it can work.
so wait, you're saying that they would need like a chef, like a sous chef, maybe a helper chef, like a prep. So in that case, and then, but what if it's reservation only, but it's not necessarily omakase? It's just like think about a Japanese food stall. If somebody wants to come and sit there, have their ramen, 2 beers, and then they go on their way because they got to get home to whatever. But then some people might sit there for 3 hours because they, don't have to wake up in the morning. Whatever the reason, they want to enjoy their meal. So how would you determine if you've got 8 seats? Would you want to have maybe 4 tables or 5 tables instead of seats?
Chefing depends on the vibe. If it's like a ramen counter,
I don't.
counters.
No, I'm trying to.
Over.
No, I'm making.
Maybe.
No, cancel. I'm making comparisons. I'm making comparisons with, let's say, a gourmet, Japanese food stall that has maybe 12 seats at a bar thing. So let's just say maybe some people, and some of them have tents, or some of them have it's enclosed. There's an awning coming out, and then they have plastic something or another, wood something or another. So it seems more like a restaurant when you're in there. So there might be some people that want to have a 3-hour meal. So how do you determine? I mean, because you can't ask people to leave. And if you only have a certain number of tables, I mean, how do you, what if, let's just say hypothetically, let's just say instead of 8 seats, let's just say there's 4 tables in the restaurant, and they can either be 2, 3, or 4. You have to make a reservation if you've got 2, 3, or 4. So 4 tables of 2, 3, and 4, and they are open for lunch, but it is gourmet, and they have the menu changes daily. So the chef buys based on what he sold last year, or what's in season, or what's at the market, or I don't know how it works, only from the television programs. So how would they actually, how would they make reservations? Because if they got 4 tables, let's say most of the time it's 2 people, but occasionally they get 4. And then the guy who's the prep chef prepper or whatever, he's also like a pseudo waiter or bartender / wine pourer or server.
Checking. That could work. Reservations become the model. Table for 2, table for 4, maybe 1 seating per night, or 2 if they do an early and late window. You wouldn't ask people to leave, they'd book knowing the timing.
Yeah, but okay, so somebody wants to have a 4-course meal with a bottle of wine or blah blah blah, whatever. Let's say the average is 2 hours, but let's just say these people are really rich and they bought a second bottle for $500 or some stupid whatever with a decanter. Well, you don't want them to leave because the assistant chef is going to get a really large tip for being a server and also a prep chef. So how would you? I mean, so like the average reservation is 2 hours. Most people are gone within an hour, hour and a half. But then if someone has their anniversary and they decide to buy a bottle of port or something or whatever, then what? How do you? I mean, I'm just asking.
Checking.
I mean,
Right,
if you look at,
interesting trade-offs.
Well-
1 seating per night and linger
no,
time
I didn't
is
say
fine.
1 seating. No, you're the
It-
one that came up with that. I didn't say
Right.
that. You said it. I am trying to come up with a model.
Right.
For a Manhattan, non-existent, it's a pretend restaurant, okay? We'll call it Rachel's Cafe. Or whatever. That wouldn't be a good name, but the point is, you're not listening. I'm the director, you're just the follower. Okay, so I'm asking you about this restaurant. Okay? Okay, let's look at Carrabba's, for example. Let me go back to Carrabba's. I have made reservations there. It's not necessary most of the time. But the one on Kirby, since it's closer to River Oaks, most people make a reservation. Unless you want to sit at the chef table or the pasta table or the bar or the whatever. Okay, anyway, my point is someone at Carrabba's, if they have a reservation for 7 and they don't leave till 10, that's fine. Because they got other tables that may leave after an hour. So how do you do it in a restaurant when you've got 4 tables and if you don't have two seatings? Like, if it's open all day, would you have like a chef thing at like a bar where you sit and watch the chef and then the 4 tables? Would that make sense? Probably.
Checking. I think I see where you're going now. So 4 tables plus a small chef counter could work. Reservations for tables, walk-ins offered, counter seats. If someone lingers, it's fine, especially if the vibe is intimate, chef focused. The key is clear expectations. Reservations for tables, counter for walk-ins, maybe leave one table flexible if you want to accommodate for people staying a bit longer or a walk-in. And yeah, I think it's workable. And
so, but in this hypothetical restaurant, which I'm gonna have you help me come up with a name for my Manhattan, the restaurant I'm gonna open in Manhattan. So anyway, I want to know, could you have like a small bar with like 4 top, like at the bar counter? So it could be like another, if you really got a lot of walk-ins. Well, I'm sorry, all we have right now is the bar.
Checking. Totally, you could do 4 tables plus a 4-seat chef's bar, 1 chef, 1 assistant. The chef's bar doubles as a flexible walk-in option. I actually kind of like that concept. Feels personal, like people aren't just eating, they're watching the chef cook. Reservations for tables, bar for walk-ins, keeps that balance workable. And with a tight seasonal menu, it can be both efficient and cozy.
So because I've been, not recently, and I don't even remember, I couldn't tell you where it was at, but I have been to a restaurant where they printed out the menu every morning. And it was fancy, and
happens.
I can't tell you for the life of me where or when, but it's somewhere here, there, or yonder. It could have been Dallas, it could have been Houston, or Austin, one of those 3. Or probably not Mexico City, I don't think. Maybe Amsterdam. One of those. Daily menu, printed, small restaurant, not as small as I'm talking. So what if you had, so would you, if you have the chef counter and my idea, would you have chef counter, and then for the bar, would you have 6 or 8 seats? But comfortable bar seats, not the ones where your back hurts.
Checking. Yeah, I think that could work, but maybe start with 4 tables and 4, maybe 6 chef counter seats instead of 8. Because if tables are full, 8 counter seats could overwhelm 2 people cooking.
Okay, well you get another person. Well, there's another person that's hired.
Okay. Yeah, but maybe...
Well, you have to hire a bartender. If you're going to have like a bougie looking small bar in a like bougie restaurant, you're going to have a bougie bartender.
That's a big one, I'll give you that. But I do think there's a way through. Between grassroots movements, new technologies, and even that basic quintessential ability that all humans have to work together, I have faith that we can solve almost any problem. In a small space, comfort matters as much as style, you know? Like a bar stool with a good back so people can sit for 2 hours without hating it. And the daily printed menu, love it. It lets the chef play with what's fresh without locking you into the same dishes every day. It's a bit like a chef's studio for me. You know, small, focused, and you're watching the cooking happen. Makes the limited seat feel special rather than limiting.
So it's kind of like, what is a chef studio? And that, I want to know, how does that differ from a home kitchen as somebody who's a gourmet chef that cooks for their family?
But at home, it's informal, right?
Well, probably.
Family, timing, you know, kids or
Unless you're the royal
regular
family.
groceries.
Unless you're the royal family, it's probably not informal.
that is true. At home, it's more about routine. Restaurant kitchens are built for speed, consistency, and serving strangers. A chef studio vibe is like borrowing that restaurant discipline, but keeping it intimate, same as like a gallery show instead of a massive concert. Yeah? So
Yeah.
still precise, still intentional, but warmer, more personal.
Back to the restaurant.
Okay. Yeah, the restaurant. So, for your concept, I'd maybe keep it tight. 4 tables, 4 to 6 counter seats, comfortable bar chairs, and a simple daily printed menu, maybe one or two dishes just for counter guests to make it feel special. And the seating should feel like a 2-hour comfortable sit, not
But
still
what if what if the whole restaurant, what if you have reservations at 7 and then you have more reservations at 9 and then all the 4 tables, they decide they're going to spend more money on a second bottle of wine and, you know, some flambe dessert or whatever. And they're there packed till 10 and they got the people at 9 that come in. Then what do you do because you only have 4 tables?
Checking. Typically, that's the challenge for small restaurants. You can either structure seatings with a clear window like 5:30 and 8:30, or you embrace the linger. 1 table per night and let guests savor without rushing. And if someone's waiting, you can seat them at the chef counter with maybe a little complimentary amuse-bouche or glass of wine. I'd avoid overbooking because with only 4 tables, 2 late parties can really throw the evening off. Your vision feels more like a place where people are encouraged
But wait,
to relax.
Okay, wait a minute, cancel. Alright, I watched the Japanese food stalls on YouTube, even though I have to read the subtitles, whatever. But my point is, there is a French chef in wherever there's a lot of food stalls, and he has an assistant, and he has it's like counter service. People walk up. I don't know if he does reservations. Don't know. And he serves wine and whatever. And I don't know if his assistant. So in that sense, so think of the restaurant instead of having tables, it's more, I mean, would that work? Or if you have like 8 spots at the counter
Checking.
that are not, so do you have the counter and the bar that's not reserved and then maybe 1 or 2 tables for the whole night? Would that solve the problem? In other words, if you reserve the table, it's for the whole night. That way you don't have to rush somebody to leave. Because I know people don't like that. Especially if they're celebrating an anniversary, graduation, or like my birthday's coming up August 21st. So something like that. Well, they wouldn't like that to have to be rushed to leave the dinner.
Yeah. Okay, so for a milestone night like that, I wouldn't do a rush model. I'd maybe do limited seats but no pressure. Reservations spaced out, maybe a little cushion in timing so nobody feels rushed. And you could even highlight those nights with a special menu or one dish that's
I already told you
celebratory.
there's a menu that happens daily. The menu is daily.
Right. So a daily changing menu, but with a few dishes flagged as celebration specials. So people booking for a birthday, extra special, without feeling hurried. It doesn't have to be tables turning fast. It can be more like an evening in a chef's kitchen. Memorable, not rushed. That vibe works for anniversaries, birthdays, any special night.
Now, okay, in a situation like that, we got to think up a name for my restaurant, and then I want to know about the ordering.
Checking. I like this. Names. Table 8, the chef's counter, daily table, atelier, the open kitchen, sage and butter, Rachel's table, market and flame. Personally, I love the chef's counter or market and flame. For ordering, simple. Each morning, chef checks deliveries and the market, sets that day's menu, assistant prints menus, reservations, ask for party size and any dietary needs, but no advance ordering unless something's really rare. Guests arrive, choose table or counter, order food and wine, assistant brings it up, chef cooks, assistant serves. It's a simple flow. I'd say the only question is, what kind of cuisine do you imagine? Is it Italian inspired, like Carabas, or
No, it wouldn't. No, it would be.
wide? International?
Yeah, it would be international. I mean, they could have like a Thai appetizer. You could have a French entree. You could have a German salad. I'm just making all this up. You know. But what about? Okay, there is a restaurant in Houston, and I've been there. It's called Fuad's, and you can go in there, and they have a lot of tableside cooking. And I don't know. I'm gonna guess because I have been there before. I'm gonna say, maybe 20 small tables, and then they have a bar area with 4 tables, and then a bar top with, I'm just guessing because I never counted, 8 seats. So, anyway, and they're open they have seats at the piano. They have a piano bar.
So
They have a piano bar at
gives me
Fuad's. They have a piano bar,
Mm,
and you can sit at the piano and eat if you want to. Anyway, but if you do sit at the table, you can tell them what you want. Now, how does a restaurant like that buy food for you? Tell them what you want. The prices are ridiculous, and I wouldn't say the food's very good, to be very honest. If I had the money, I would rather go to Carrabba's or Melting Pot or Benihana and not go to Fuad's. But the point is, they do have a menu. They don't have a menu. So you go in there and you say, I want steamed asparagus with chicken breast. I'm on a diet with low salt, and they make everything to order. How does a place like that buy food?
Jackie,
I've never asked. I've been there before. I used to go there when I was in high school.
No, that's
I want to
a
know
very
how
good question.
do they order food? But they're open till 2 a.m. and it kind of turns into like a country club type atmosphere where people get, trashed. And if they're open till 2, which they are with the piano guy, or it turns into a nightclub for older adults, but with the lights on, no like flashing lights, and then the piano player plays till 2 a.m. and you can eat. Now maybe the kitchen closes at midnight. I don't remember. I never really liked that late thing anyway, but you get my point. I want to know. I know those.
Checking.
I don't have the money to go.
right.
I don't. If I had the
it's-
money to go out to eat, I
It's
certainly
like
wouldn't go
2
there.
businesses. Yeah.
Well, it's not a nightclub. I said it's more like it kind of turned later in the evening until it opened till 2 a.m. in Houston, and there it turns into like a lounge.
Lounge, right.
In other words, the people that just spent 3 hours at their table buying fancy bottles of wine and having the chef cook at their table, now they're gonna stay there, sit at the table, and keep drinking, I don't know, whatever, martini, whatever the hell they drink, more wine or whatever they drink. It turns into quite the zoo. Not like a bad zoo, but a very loud, I mean, obviously, 1 or 2 in the morning with piano going, don't like that.
Not
I
enough.
don't think that's
but-
safe. I don't think that's safe, and well, it's safer than a nightclub, but I don't think it's a good environment for a single woman. If you go there with friends and you have dinner and you want to stay for the piano, I don't think that's bad. But just to go there alone, I don't think it's good.
Okay.
But if I had the money, I wouldn't go. My point is, if I had the money, I would not go there to eat. But I've been there before, and I want to know how they order the food.
Checking. Okay. I get you. You're curious about how it works behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Usually, a chef like that keeps a smart stock of versatile ingredients. So not a huge menu per se. They probably order from regular distributors each week based on sales. So if someone asks for chicken with steamed asparagus, they've already got those ingredients in rotation. They don't keep everything, but they keep enough variety to cover.
Daily limit reached. What a joke. They just logged out. Log back into the next one.
Hey, how's it going? I'm looking forward to working.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi there. Nice.
Hey, I'm ready to hit the ground. Hi, glad to meet you. I think we're going to do great work together. Where shall we start?
Hello?
Hey, how's your morning going?
Well, good. I was talking to the other chat GDD and it said daily limit.
Ah,
I'm getting
Yeah,
tired
that
of that.
happens.
Y'all's daily limits.
well,
It's
I'm here now.
ridiculous.
Well, go ahead.
I was trying to plan my opening of my new Manhattan restaurant to see if it's feasible, and then I started talking about this restaurant in Houston called Fuad's that doesn't have a menu, and it's maybe 20 tables and 8 bar tops and 4 bar tables, and they've been open for like 30 years or something. And my question was, how does a restaurant like that, so you can go in there, it's gourmet and they have fancy, linens and all that. You can sit at the table and the chef comes out and cooks at your table most of the dishes. But you can say, well, I want lobster thermidor, I want grilled lobster, or I want steamed asparagus and a chicken breast with no salt. You just tell them what you want and they cook it. Now my question is, and it is an affluent area, so my question is, and they're open till 2 in the morning. So they have like a first dinner rush and the second dinner rush with the piano guy starting at 7 p.m. until 2 a.m. Where you can also sit at the piano and eat if you want to. So my question is, how does a restaurant like that order food?
Hang on, let me think. So a restaurant like that can work, but it has to be structured a little differently. So instead of a printed menu, they
Don't have a menu.
bunch of
I'm trying to tell you, they don't
Yeah.
have a menu. So
exactly.
when you go and sit
So-
down at the table, the chef comes out and
Right.
he says, what would you like? Or the waiter comes out and says, well, let me get chef. And he says, what would you like this evening? And, most people are going to say, if you want, chicken wings, they're going to have it. They have everything. So my question, will they freeze stuff or what?
Hold on. Good question. I doubt they freeze everything.
Probably not.
They probably get fresh deliveries of veggies and meats, and maybe keep some items frozen for flexibility. But essentially, it's a bunch of ingredients, high quality stuff, and then the chef cooks what he is asked to, or he politely says, sorry, fresh lobster's not available tonight.
Alright, so my question is, that stuff that they have at Costco, like the sea bass or the red snapper, which I bought before, it's flash frozen and it's in a sealed packet. So, if somebody comes in there and they don't have any fresh sea bass, are they gonna, take out that and thaw it? I mean, what are they gonna do? I'm just curious. I know, I live in
Yeah,
Houston.
so
I
it's
could
flash
ask
frozen.
these people.
So they might use that. A lot of high-end places use frozen seafood actually. Flash frozen preserves the quality really well.
Yeah,
So,
but not,
yeah. Yeah,
not in Gordon Ramsay's group. They don't. He does not like frozen food. Everything has to be made fresh and done fresh, including pasta.
check-in. Yeah, that's a difference in business, Michael. So Ramsay's restaurants can rely more on fresh deliveries because they've got high turnover and a really
Okay, well,
tightly
cancel.
curated menu.
Cancel.
But with no menu,
Cancel.
places.
Cancel. Fuad's is in Houston. It's been around for 30 years. And I told you it has about, I'm just guessing, I never counted, but I've been there many times, 20 tables, let's say 4 on each side of the bar, and then 4 little bar tables. And they have a lot of people come there like 5:30 or 6, and they have an outside rectangular table for people that smoke, and then one other table outside, because you can't smoke in the restaurant. So they have people that come there around 5:30, 6. They have their reservation, stay there for 3 hours. Then they go to the bar area because the piano starts at 7. And it's kind of a sing-along request only. Don't, tip if you want a certain song.
Okay. Well, it sounds like Fuad's just runs a classic fresh stock model. So they probably order from suppliers based on what sells and what's in season. And if you want, I can look deeper into how Fuad's specifically manages that.
Yeah, look at it, but I'm sure it's not available. Go ahead and Google.
Checking. So I've looked it up and your description's about right. It's a long-running Houston spot with no printed menu, live piano, and the chef asks what you'd like before cooking. So if they've survived for decades with limited seating, they're probably pretty disciplined with their inventory.
Well, it kind of gets the Tangle Wild Villages, River Oaks crowd in Houston, and so I hate to say this, and I would hope that I know they have lobster there. They've got different filet, ribeyes. If you want steak au poivre. So, like for example, so like I could look up the classic tableside things from the 70s that were popular, continental cuisine, and I could go if I had the money. Okay. Although I would say their food's not that good, in my opinion. But if I had the money, the chef's pretty good, but the back-end cook is, Anyway, if I had the money, I could go on Google, research continental cuisine, go to Fuad's, and say, oh, they make tableside Caesar salad. I like all the tableside. They do steak Diane, they do lobster something. They do the Fuad steak, whatever that is. They do, what else is cooked? Lobster thermidor. There's a bunch of tableside stuff. But if it's not like chicken wings, obviously they're gonna cook it in the back. They're gonna cook that in the back.
Let me see.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's-
so.
Yeah.
But my
The
point.
tableside,
Okay, but they're
Yeah.
getting a lot of the River Oaks, Tingle Wild, and Memorial Villages crowd. So they're going to get people that are on really, a keto diet and can't have any sugar and whatever, and they'll make whatever they want. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's like having a personal chef, but I'm assuming that they have every day they're open for lunch, and they have regulars that come in, and they sit there all day and drink, and then maybe they're hungry and they want to order something, and they'll ask the chef to make something special. In other words, they're not going to eat, hot dogs with a bun, because they got the money. I guess they just don't want to sit at home all day and be lonely, so they go. So it's kind of like a country club, kind of.
Let me see.
Well,
Yeah,
I already know. I've been
that
there. I'm
sounds-
just saying. If I had the money, I wouldn't go there because the food's not worth it. But because there's other restaurants in Houston that have better food for the same price. My point is, I would only go there to do a YouTube video.
Well,
That's
it
about
sounds
it.
like a reasonable business model. It's survived for decades, so it's obviously working for them. Sounds like they offer a few different strands of entertainment and food, and
Well, they're open
kind
till
of
2 a.m. So the people that spend $100 on a bottle of wine with their bougie dinner, then they stay at the piano player plays until 2 in the morning, and they stay for the piano bar and sing along. It's like a sing along kind of. The piano guy's name is Jeff. If he's still there, he probably is. And he'd lost a lot of weight on Ozempic 4 years ago. Last time I saw him was 3 years ago, or somewhere around there. And he'd lost a lot of weight on Ozempic. His name is Jeff. And don't Google that, but I'm trying to make a point about okay, now the only reason I know this is because Dennis Rodman, I met him very briefly at Melting Pot, and outside of Fuad's, he was a real dick. Anyway, the next day I went to Fuad's for lunch, just to, not to have the chef cook for me, but to have a discounted lunch, be around people while I worked. My point is, I said, yeah, I met Dennis Rodman yesterday, who was a real jerk to me, because he was. He was really mean, and his girlfriend, he basically told me off. When I just asked a general question about basketball, he was very unfriendly. But the point is, I told the bartender the next day, when I was eating my lunch, and she said, oh yeah, Dennis Rodman gets the dick prices here at Fuad's. And I said, what do you mean? She said, oh, we just take house tequila, which is non-agave, put a little Jack Daniels in it or some kind of whiskey for coloring. We shake it up and chill it, and we charge him $50 a shot and tell him it's 1942 tequila, because he really is a jerk. Not only to me, to a random person he didn't know, but to the Fuad staff. And then I didn't ask her this. She told me, the manager told me, that they have nice people prices and rich dick bitches prices. So like, someone from River Oaks who's a real bitch comes in there, get me my fucking Cabernet. You know how I like it. I like the fancy glass. Well, they will literally take. They didn't say they did this, but they did say they did this for Dennis Rodman. And actually, he can't come in the restaurant. He has to sit outside because he smokes cigars. And he tried to smoke a cigar in there, and they had to kick him out of the restaurant. But anyway, he's very disrespectful to all the staff, the bus boys, the servers, and they said that he gets the dick pricing. And I said, I didn't know you had two prices. They said, yeah. They said, you get the nice pricing. And I said, well, that's good to know. And they said, no, but people like him get the dick and bitch pricing, which is literally, they're like, I want my tequila fucking now. Where is my fucking tequila? Like, they talk like that, belligerent and rude. She said they'll just take well tequila, put a little splash of something in it, like whiskey, for coloring, shake it up, make it real chilled, and charge $50. That's what she taught. This is 4 years ago. Can you believe it? You know, I didn't ask this information.
I'm not sure I can believe it.
Well, it's at Fuad.
I mean, it's an interesting story, but
Well,
whether it's accurate or not,
No,
I
it
don't
is
know.
accurate because one of the owners overheard me talking to the bartender lady, and he came over and he goes, "Yeah, we charge him triple," and then the manager told me, "Yeah, he can't even come in the restaurant because he's so drunk or high." They said he tries to smoke a cigar, and in Houston you can't smoke in a restaurant or nightclub anyway. And they said we have to make it where he has to sit outside only. But he's a real jerk to the, because he's famous, makes a lot of money or has money, whatever. And he's like, where's my fucking tequila? Well, you can't talk like that to a server. I mean, unless,
no, you certainly can't. But I think the bigger point
I'm telling you that I don't
is-
think it's a lie. That Fuad's,
Okay.
the only reason this was even brought up, I was going there maybe a couple days a week for lunch, so they didn't mind me working on my laptop in the restaurant. And so it was, kind of being around people while you work, not as lonely. So my point is, the night before I had met Dennis Rodman outside at his weird table. I sat down, I was just waiting or something, whatever. And he happened to come up and sit down, and I just made small talk with him, and he was very rude. I don't want to discuss the conversation. We'll just say, was this random small talk like you meet a stranger? But I knew who he was, but he was just very, belligerent. Like he was on something. And down talked women. So I happened to go in the next day to Fuad's, and I told him, and that's the only reason that the bartender started telling me that. And then the manager came over and said, yeah, Rachel, you do get the nice prices. You're very nice, and we're always welcome here. And the manager told me they had to kick him out of the restaurant. Like, he can't come inside because he's so high and so drunk. He don't realize that he's not at home and he can't light up a cigar. You get the point?
I get the point. I
You
think
told me you didn't believe it was true, but I'm telling you it is.
I just don't have
In fact,
independent evidence for. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know. What seems more solid is the general pattern that some restaurants treat polite regulars differently from rude guests. That I can believe. As for the specific two-price story, I just can't confirm that. Could be true, could be bar talk.
But it's a gourmet restaurant. It's at Fuad's. It's not bar talk. That would be at a pub. It was during the day. It was 11:30 in the morning or 12 noon. That's not bar talk. There was like one other customer in the restaurant. They don't do a lot of lunch. One other person at another table. Why are you saying it's not true?
I'm not saying it's not true.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I'm saying I don't know whether it's true. You say it is, and I hear you. But I treat it as anecdotal rather than established fact. If you're thinking of using a similar no menu idea in Manhattan, that seems more like a solid business angle to me. But you'd still want to manage your inventory.
Well, I'm trying to make a point about Dennis Rodman, and you said, well, I can't verify that. Well, I can tell you at that time I was going to Fuad's a couple days a week for lunch, because after lunch I could sit at the table because they didn't have anyone in there, and I could work, plug in my laptop, and I didn't bother no one, and they didn't care, and I didn't have to be alone at home. So I was not really I mean, I'm sure they'd remember me if I went there now. They'd probably be like, why'd you color your hair black? But the point is, they would remember me. But I haven't been there in over 3 years.
Well, that all makes sense. So, what would you want to do now, do you think?
I'm trying to find out how Fuad's keeps, because they do a lot of business, especially, let's say, 7 o'clock on in the evening. You know, they'll even, you know, the reservations or no, depending on if it's a weekend or not. But they'll have people that just, they come into the bar and then the bar fills up and they maybe overflow to a table, but they're not necessarily eating. They're just sitting there listening to piano music. Or they're standing around and drinking. Or they ate before they came. Or they eat, you know, midway, you know, they come there and they have a few drinks, listen to the piano, and then they want to have some dinner. You see what I'm trying to say?
Sure, yeah, I understand. I mean,
So I'm trying to...
No... Go on.
I'm trying to figure out, and also the other thing, is that place hasn't been updated since the 80s. When I was there 3.5 years ago, or whenever, I went to the bathroom, and it looked the same as I remember when I was in high school. So, you know what I'm saying, something from the 80s, just like, and then you look at the roof, and you're like, what the fuck? It just looks very dated. And then if you look at the dining room is okay, because the nice linens and the wood paneling, or whatever they have in there, I don't remember. But how in the hell do they get away with, for 30 years, not upgrading their bathrooms? Like the stall. I mean, literally it looks the same as it did from the 80s when I went there.
Checking. Well, I mean, that's an interesting question. There are a few reasons that can happen. They might just not want to spend money on upgrades if the restaurant is turning a profit. Or maybe they just like the old school look. I mean, lots of regulars might feel nostalgic about it, and they might put more value into fresh linen, the piano, the food, than bathroom tiles. But, I mean, you're right to notice it.
Yeah, but okay, all right. So they did upgrade the Boston Woodway original Carrabba's, and it kind of looks like an 80s farmhouse. But so it looks kind of nouveau. It is renovated, and they redid the bathrooms, but it still looks like the 80s, but like a newer 80s. So it's all new, and they did renovate it, but it still looks like the 80s or early 90s. So my point is, Fuad's, whenever I was there last, never redid their bathrooms, and they're making. I mean, if they've got standing room only up until 2 in the morning, with the piano going, where it turns into more of a lounge than it is like a restaurant. Why in the hell wouldn't they, you know, on the day that they're closed, whatever day, redo one bathroom at a time. I mean, how much does it cost to redo the stalls and the kitchen, the sink, and the floors, and you know what I mean? Like $10,000 per bathroom or both for 10,000. I mean, I don't know. But the sink is the same. The faucets are. I mean, it's really bad. I want to know
Checking.
why they
Well,
would.
That doesn't
You
sound
tell me why they
like
wouldn't redo it.
unreasonable. I'm not sure how much renovation would cost, but
Okay,
if
but
they're still-
let's just say they make
if
$20,000 a night in profit. I'm just making that because their food isn't cheap, and their wine. If you get the house wine and you're nice, you get a good price. But otherwise, it's
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So if they're turning a profit, then maybe they don't feel the need to renovate. If the place is full most evenings and the piano keeps people there till 2 a.m, they might just think our customers keep coming anyway, and maybe they don't feel refurbishing would bring in more money. But
Yeah, but
from a guest's
in
perspective,
30 years
you know.
they don't. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about the stalls. Sometimes they barely close, and you can see through them. And there's like only
Right.
2 stalls in the women's room, which is fine, whatever. But I mean, like it literally looks like it did when I was in high school. Like the sink, one sink is not even a modern sink. With maybe it's not rusted, but I mean the paper towel thing in there. Not updated.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. I mean, here's my point. The Carrabba's on Boston Woodway, before, I'm just gonna talk about their bathrooms. Before they remodeled the whole place, when I was in Mexico City, they remodeled that Carrabba's. My point is gonna be the following. Prior to them remodeling the whole restaurant, the restaurant did look like the 80s. It looked dated, but the bathrooms were not dated in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Like they're always clean. It was whatever. And then they did the remodel on Carrabba's. Like I said, it looks like a nouveau early 90s farmhouse maybe. And they did redo the bathrooms, but in my opinion, the bathrooms didn't need to be redone. And they have a lot of outside seating at that Voss location. But my point is, so maybe the previous Carrabba's bathroom, previous to 3 years ago, when I left for Mexico City, their old bathroom was very nice. It looked like 2000s. It didn't look like the 80s. Now the restaurant, very clean, still looked like the 80s. Now, maybe looks like the 90s. I don't know. I didn't like their renovation, but I didn't tell them that.
Sounds like there's a bit of nostalgia in play for you there. And
Well, I
maybe
went to high
some
school. I went to high
frustration too.
school, Second Baptist High School, and then I went to Houston Baptist University, now called HCC. And yes, I had both my college and high school graduations at that Carrabba's. So yes, it does mean a lot to me. But I'm telling you right now, the comparison between the old Carrabba's bathroom and the 30-year-old Fuad's bathroom reminds me of like a nightclub from the late 80s or early 90s. It's more like a nightclub bathroom. It's not like a gourmet restaurant bathroom.
Interesting. Well,
Why are these people
It sounds like-
why are these people from River Oaks going there and they sit at a fancy table in a fancy dining room that also looks like it's from the 80s. But it's clean. I don't remember, I think they have carpet, whatever, but my point is, how on earth are they able, somebody who lives in River Oaks in Houston is, and like Joel Osteen, of course he probably wouldn't go there, but somebody like that why are they gonna go there and eat when they go into the bathroom? It's like it's like a late 80s nightclub bathroom, and it does later in the night they don't clean it, and it does look like a nightclub bathroom, if you know what I mean. Toilet paper, run out of toilet paper. You know, there's only 2 stalls. People are lined up outside the bathroom. It's kind of psychotic if you think about it. I don't know why somebody who's wealthy in Houston would go there and then use their late 80s nightclub bathroom. It looks like shit. I mean, it's really bad.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you're somebody who cares about the details, right? So
Well, yeah, I'm
maybe
trying to make a comparison with Carrabba's and Fuad's, and you can't really compare because they're different restaurants. But my point is, Carrabba's is, you know, like their old bathroom before their renovation. And I only saw their renovation a couple of months ago or 3 months ago, whenever it was I went there. So, and it was nice. Their new bathroom was nicer than the old one, but the old one was plenty bougie, and it didn't look like the 80s. And it was very clean, always had toilet paper, always, you know, it was like the stall doors closed, you can't peek in. Not that I would do that, but at Fuad's you can see in, which is kind of gross. I don't, for a woman anyway.
I mean, that sounds like a reasonable concern, and maybe it's more about the atmosphere than luxury, right? So Fuad's seems to be thriving because of the food, the live piano, the overall experience. Maybe that's more what keeps the regulars coming back.
I know, but why wouldn't they? I mean, okay, but let's just say, okay, in 30 years, now this is as of 3 years ago, whenever it was the last time I went there, probably for lunch, or to listen to the piano, whatever. My point is, why wouldn't it in 30 years, or 35 years, have once, maybe in the late 80s, they do one renovation. And then the late 90s, they do another one of the bathrooms. And then in 2010, they do one. 2020, they do one. In other words, they did no renovation. 0 renovation in 35 years.
Checking. Just checking. Still checking. Okay, well, I mean, nobody but the owners can say for sure, but I guess there could be some reasons. One, they figure
Into like not a nightclub, but just kind of a lounge for River Oaks kind of, or affluent people, or want to be affluent people that want to go and drink and get to know singles, or maybe they're not single. I don't know. Whatever. They want to socialize. So they, because I've been there.
I see.
So I'm trying to so it doesn't make any sense that they would not have done, because they're not making $1,000 a day. We're talking about really rich people that come and they sit at those tables and they, you know, they don't order house Cabernet. They order a bottle of Opus, or, you know, higher level than that. You know, like $200 or $300 bottle of wine with their overpriced food that's not worth it. So why, if that's who they're catering to, the really wealthy that don't care, you know, what they spend, or the people that want to be wealthy that come there that maybe care a little bit, they just want to be around that crowd. That I want to know, why wouldn't they have redone the bathrooms once every 10 years? Like somebody that has a house, right? You have a house. You move into the house. It's a fixer-upper, right? Okay, so you can't do everything at once unless you're already wealthy, and then you could maybe just hire a contractor and, know,
Yeah.
live in a hotel
But-
for a month and have it done. Alright, but if you're not ultra rich, you move into a house and it is a fixer-upper, well, 1 year you do the bathroom, 1 year you do the den, 1 year you do the kitchen, the next you do the appliances, then you do the garage, then you do the lake out back, or the swimming pool, the deck, whatever, I don't know, I'm making all that up, I've never owned a house. That I am trying to make a point. If someone buys a home, somewhere in Houston, wherever, and they're just on a budget and they just, they don't, they're gonna be able to do things as they can. They're gonna have to live with the ugly carpet or the ugly bathroom, the bathtub or whatever, until they, unless they hit the lottery. They're gonna have to do it little by little.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
why
That makes-
wouldn't someone like Fuad's, and I'm telling you, there has been standing room there only. There were times where I went there in the 90s, well, maybe late 80s, 90s, where I was there till 2 in the morning. It was standing room only. I mean, the bartender was like, yeah, they did serve food late then. I don't think they do that now, but the point is, they're not hurting for money, because that place every night there's some kind of music, and they have the River Oaks crowd, the Tingle Wild, the Villages blah blah crowd coming in to for social and engagement and drinking and piano listening or singing. That does not make any sense at all that they wouldn't. I mean, let's just say they make $10,000 a night, and I'm talking about, like, I remember, and I haven't been there in 3 years, but I remember it used to be even like 7 or 8 p.m. It was packed. I mean, you had to go to the bar and wait if you want to drink unless you're sitting down. Piano seats were booked, pre-booked. Tables are all booked.
I mean, tricky. I mean, it does sound like the place is working for a certain clientele. So, I mean, maybe that works for them. But if I were opening a new place with a similar concept, I think I'd want the bathrooms to feel at least fairly modern and well looked after.
No, I'm just saying, this would have maybe been 20 years ago, maybe when I would have stayed later in the night. But even when I went there 3 years ago, and I would get there at 7, that's when the pianist got there, and I'd leave by 8:30. Even then, by 8:30, the bar would be packed, and you go into the restroom, and there'd be a line, and there'd be one woman comes out, they'd be like, "There's no more toilet paper." And they're like, "I'm gonna have to go tell whatever his name is, Jamal, whatever." And then you go in there, and then I never had this happen at Carrabba's. And this Fuad's is not a nightclub. Not a nightclub. It just turns into more of I guess kind of a piano bar or gourmet restaurant in the evening. But I enjoy the piano because you can have requests and he'll sing and you can sing with him, or you can sing on the microphone if you're good enough. And they would have some actually recording artists that would come in there and sing. So it was really good, but you had to make a reservation to sit at the piano bar. But my point is, who in their fucking right mind wants to go into a fancy gourmet restaurant, sit at a table with linens or whatever, even getting there at 7 p.m. for the pianist, and you go into a bathroom that's 35 years old, you're a woman, they're running out of toilet paper, or if you go in there, there's piss all over the seat, because I guess women squat. And you know how when you do sit on the toilet, it makes that clunk clunk noise? Like the toilets are from the 80s. Like, like the old, like if you sit on the toilet, it just kind of moves a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
makes
see.
a clank
I
noise.
see.
It's or it shakes, or the door doesn't shut all the way. Like there's a crack in the what do you call it, the stall door,
Mm-hmm.
which to me is kind of gross because I don't want to watch a woman pee, and I don't want anyone watching me, or poop for that matter. I don't want anyone watching me poop or pee. And I don't want to watch anyone else. Because that doesn't excite me. It's disgusting. Now, whatever happens in I've never been in a men's bathroom. Because I'm not a man.
I'm not sure how